Pick Up and in Her Majesty's name report. Now, for some time the Black Badger had been watching an old establishment in the town, a merchant's building. Someone he knew often dealt in all sorts of nefarious activities. And then on one particular night his attention had been drawn to the fact that on the usual patrol of the area he saw a box left very close to the merchant's house. And then he realized that there were several US Special Service agents, well, as they turned out to be, watching the same address. The Black Badger decided he was going to lurk in the shadows and watch and see what would develop as the evening went on. The box was clearly in the centre of the road, and being as late as it was, nobody was in the vicinity whatsoever. It was very quiet, very dark, difficult to see, and very difficult to know where anybody else was. So the Black Badger decided that he would move silently up, as close as he dare get, to observe the box and to make sure there was no one else around in the area other than himself and the Secret Service agents. There were, of course, the occasional rat scurrying through the streets. He paid these no mind whatsoever, and he kept his eye on the two servicemen that were approaching the box, while a third stayed in the tower behind, obviously offering some sort of cover. They managed to get with only 6 to 8 feet of the box, and at this point the Black Badger became quite agitated and worried. He moved around the back of the building in order to get closer to his assailant, well, towards the two agents. He hid behind some barrels for a moment before rushing full length towards them. He didn't want them to actually pick up the box at all. It would be easier if he could attack them before they got to it. So that's what he did. He launched himself across the open ground, and they were shocked. Out of the darkness, the dinge, came this ferocious creature, all claws and teeth. He knocked one to the ground almost immediately in the darkness, but then struggled with the second, who lashed back at him. It took some time, some moments, before he could knock the second, and in those moments the other agent from the rooftop above tried to shoot at him. Luckily, his shots missed their mark in the darkness, and the Badger was able to fell the second agent. At this point he was rather angry and agitated, but managed to keep in mind the fact that if he stood in the open for too long he'd get shot probably, and it seemed that this particular agent had an arc weapon, something that would shoot bolts of lightning, and something he had no defense against at all. With this in mind, he decided it was time to collect his box and flee the scene, which is what he tried to do. He ran off at a reasonable pace with the box, which turned out to be absolutely huge, as you can see from that picture. But anyway, he ran off. The agent, the US agent, tried to shoot him one more time from the top of the tower, and then made a decision. If he was going to catch the Badger and stop the box being taken, he would have to get near to him. He would have to chase him down, and that's what he decided to do. Unfortunately, the Badger had quite a lead on him, but even so, he was hampered by the box, and so was not moving quite as fast as he could have done. The agent ran down, jumped down from the building under the gas lamp, and then across the open ground where the box had been. Still, Badger headed towards the edge of the street and into more darkness and gloom. Soon he would be out of sight and very difficult to trace. The agent quickly sped forward, however, very luckily, managing to get himself quite close enough, in fact, to give himself the chance of one last shot at the Badger before he left the entire area and entered the gloom of the bigger and outer city and never be found again. You can see here the agent peering over the barrel there as the black badger nears the edge of the lit area. Now, we never know really what was going through the badger's mind at this point, but as the arc fire leapt across his shoulder, didn't actually hit him, he obviously felt somehow that the agents had they'd upset him some way, shape or form, and he decided that instead of following his usual course of action, which was to just get away from the area with the contents of the box, he decided that he just didn't like this last agent. The black badger can be a bit irrational sometimes like this. It's the nature of the beast, so to speak. So he dropped off in the darkness his box, and then quickly leapt around the edge of the building to come across the agent from the other side. Now, at the same time, the agent decided that this was a forlorn task. He was not going to catch the badger, and he should really backtrack to his friends to see if they could be helped in some way, to see how badly hurt they were, and to make sure that they would survive for another time. So here he is, reaching his two fallen comrades. What he doesn't realize is that with tremendous pace and agility, the black badger has leapt from his hiding place yet again and has rounded on this last agent, and you can see him there looming with dreadful ferocity over the agent's shoulder. Yes, and within a moment had laid him low with a blow to the back of the head. Not particularly heroic, has got to be said. At this point, the badger, realizing that he had really completely got rid of all opposition in his way, decided it was time indeed to leave the area and to beat a hasty retreat, just in case some vagabond picked up his box and made off with it in the dark. But it's very possible in this part of town. So he quickly decided to leave the situation, make sure that no bobbies were knocking around to see him, and he picked up his casket and made off into the dark. They're still not aware yet of what exactly the cart box contained, and therefore not really knowing what set of events he had, chain of events he'd set in motion. Thank you for listening. I've been Dax, Job Inspector Retired.